You'll never see how toxic someone is until you breathe fresher air.
This Jersey girl has the luck of the Irish, and nobody's screwing with my pot of gold.
I may be over the top. Hi! But I'd rather be bougie than basic.
I'm a loyal friend and a lethal enemy.
I'm too busy running a business to care about yours. Payback's a bitch.
What do you think?
So start barking.
Blood may be thicker than water,
Love you.
but it's harder to clean when it spills.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Flipping the Table. My name is Wellington. I am your host, and today is such a special episode. Of course, I have my co-host with me. Hi, Kay.
Hi.
And today we have a special guest, special co-host, Kevin Bobby. Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
You guys may know Kevin from the hit Instagram page, Reality Chat, that covers everything reality TV. Make sure you guys follow him and his page. Kevin, are you ready to get into it? I love having you on.
I'm ready because I'm gonna tell it now.
Right.
Yes.
So, the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion part 2. Oh my God. Like, I just need this to be over because I'm more interested in the aftermath. Like, what is going to happen when this is done, and how is this show going to move on? That's really what I'm interested about. What are your general thoughts right now? Okay.
I'm like you. I really want to know how it's gonna go. Andy, I know everybody's like, "Oh, Andy is showing his true colors." I mean, he is because he definitely is getting kind of like fed up. But I don't know, like he was making me laugh with some of the things he was saying, but it also made me realize why. Because I know they were saying like they might not go into taping the new season right away,
Mhm.
and I could definitely see why because Andy
Right.
looked like he was like at his wits end. So we'll see.
What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat as y'all too. I think that not only just with Melissa and Teresa, but
Mhm.
just Marge, Jen, like it's just so much dissension between
Mhm.
everybody. And now, after this airs, I feel like Danielle is gonna look back and be like, "Oh, I
Mhm.
was like, how is everybody gonna be
Right.
moving forward together?" I don't know.
That's actually something that me and Kate discussed in our previous episode, in the sense of like everybody keeps saying like, "Oh, who's going to leave New Jersey, Melissa or Teresa?" When we need to discuss like this is a whole cast that is like in shambles. Like it's not just Teresa and Melissa that are, you know, holding the entire like I don't see a future for Margaret and Teresa either. I don't see a future for Margaret and many people. So there's a whole the casting is going to be the most interesting like game to watch as we get into season 14. They're going to right season 14.
14.
Wow, season 14. Wow, that's crazy. Real Houses of New Jersey. Okay, so I wanted to pick up from everybody knows that I am a fan of Teresa, and it's not that I dislike Melissa. I think Melissa's great in her own way. But I believe the story that they were hanging out with the people that were involved with getting Teresa in trouble. Like I believe that. I believe that. And there was a page all about the Real Housewives on Instagram that actually like had posted a screenshot where they were actually seen together like in a picture. So I believe it. I think that the fact that it's coming from Jacqueline and the fact that some people decided to point out, that that's just something stupid to even believe is what makes it like makes Teresa feel like she's discredible. But like if you actually just listen to what she's saying, like I feel like it makes sense, no?
I wouldn't listen. I love Melissa all day long, but I definitely am a rider for Teresa.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I just feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility for this to be true
Mhm.
because we just see that there's such a like they're in turmoil, and we've watched them be in turmoil for literally 12 years.
Right.
And it's not like surface level, like this goes deep. So I
Right.
think that it's not out of the realm of possibility that this could be true. They do each other dirty on both sides all the time.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like I feel like coming from where they've come from and like their background and their history, I mean, I could definitely see, them hanging out with these people. I mean, I don't see why she would think that we would think that it's like far fetched and it's just like this. Oh my gosh, this is such an unbelievable lie. Like, I mean, I don't know. They already said y'all was doing some crooked stuff to get on the show, so it's just like I said, given the background.
Right. It's a pattern. It's a pattern.
Mhm.
Well, let's get into it some more. Right. Right. And she was collateral. We need to check on that. Watch Dolores as Melissa reads this. Yeah, there's no moving on with these two. There's no moving
No,
on with these two.
But
no.
I'm glad about that though. Like and it's okay for y'all not to move on. Like
Right.
I feel like they feel that they have to be a family, right? Like y'all have come to a point where y'all tried and tried and tried. And
Hmm.
I feel like y'all done y'all due diligence in trying. And now, listen, we can't get along. We're not happy, being in each other's lives. So let's just go our separate ways and leave it at that. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. And because what I'm tired of is the repetitiveness. You did this. No, you did this. You did this. You did. Y'all all are doing something to each other, and it's a
Right.
perpetual cycle. And until somebody gets off the cycle, it's just going to keep on going. And I'm actually, kind of sick of it. And I think that's why it's hard for me to choose sides. Is because I feel like they're both wrong, and I feel like this is going on way too long.
Yeah.
Right. Right. It,
I just think that if this is true that they were involved, I do believe that Joe was the intended target and not
Okay.
Teresa. I
Yeah.
think
yeah.
Teresa just caught the back end. I think we've always seen that there's always been a bit of a rift between both of the Joes.
Hmm.
So I think that Teresa just caught the back end. But if this is true, I do think that it was mainly intended for Joe.
But don't you think that it's interesting that because I feel like if I was planning something like this for, my sister, I feel like that will run through my head. Like, this is going to affect her family. This is going to affect her husband. This is going to affect the people around her, especially if it's going to be like an implication of, jail time, whatever it is. This is
Mhm.
going to affect the livelihood of my blood and my family. So even if he was just trying to target Joe, isn't that crazy that you would go so far to target someone, even if it implicates your own family, your own blood? That's
And
what
see,
gags me.
right, and that's what I was gonna say. So like I said, while I try not to get in uh, the middle of it, I do feel like if the intended target was Joe, right, which I do believe, I don't think that he would intentionally set out to hurt Teresa, but I feel like he would have went to his sister and said, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. This is, what I'm planning on doing, or I don't know, and maybe that it wouldn't have worked out if he would have done that, but I
Right.
definitely feel like if I know that I'm about to do something to my sister's spouse, I'm gonna give my sister a heads up.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. If
I
you
just feel
actually
like
care.
I don't think that Teresa would have went for that. I feel like
Right.
if he would have came to her, Teresa would have tipped Joe off and the whole thing would have went awry. So that is probably why he didn't say something to her. But
Hmm.
overall, like, can I be honest real quick?
Of
Absolutely.
course.
I
Always.
think overall, Joe Gorga going to do this is why people always say that money is the root of all evil, that fame
Yeah.
destroys families, because I think that they were desperate to get on this show. Teresa was the star,
Yeah.
and they were like, okay, well, let's stop this. Like, so it brings out jealousy. Like,
Yeah.
TV brings out jealousy, it brings out envy and all these things. And I
Envy.
really feel like it has destroyed this family because we're seeing them go tit for tat doing these crazy things, like
Hmm.
with Teresa going to Joe and not having Melissa there about the cheating thing. It's just like they keep doing these things to each other. And I think that there really is no limit to what they'll do. So
Oh,
I don't
Right.
put it past them as far as the jail thing.
yeah.
So I completely agree with those statements that you just made because it's a pattern. You see the pattern from all the way to the beginning. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, Carlos can confirm that Melissa did join the show behind Teresa's back.
I
Like it
don't
was
know. I don't know if I
comfort.
really believe everything Carlos said, but go ahead.
No.
I mean, listen, to be a reality TV producer and creator in the game and be determined enough to say that you are sure that this happened the way you're saying it and put his name out there, I feel like he has a lot to lose. So I feel like he wouldn't be saying things just to say them. You don't
Well,
think so?
he told that story about Candy and the escape,
Which one?
trying to steal a life story.
Well, no, Candy brought that up. He never talked about that.
Right, he didn't. But what I'm saying is she brought that up. So to me, that doesn't like I'm not just gonna take Carlos, at his word on everything. And then we got the whole Phaedra situation. Yeah, I don't know if
My poor Carlos, he just be catching strays. I believe him.
Strays.
I believe him. I believe in chat. I believe him. Anyways, so yeah, it's been confirmed. It's been a pattern, and it's tired at this point. And I thought we could get over it because there was a couple seasons where we saw y'all like being together and actually like being able to coexist. But and even this season, when the season was rolling out, because there
yeah,
was so much intensity to the beginning of the season because we knew like Teresa and Melissa are gonna go at it this season. Like this is the final season where they're going to go at it. So I feel like there was a lot of anticipation to the way that the season was gonna roll out. When I was watching this season, I didn't even feel like they were really like super super upset with each other because they didn't really get into anything into the finale episode when they actually had that blowout. So I do feel like they can coexist, but I feel like it would that will make it look so fake because we know that they don't fuck with each other. So them coexisting will kind of take away the illusion that this is an actual group of friends. And
but
that's my
sometimes
problem too.
that's how it
Some
is with families, though. You gotta, you know what I mean. You sometimes you gotta coexist. So I feel like showing us how y'all could coexist, because I think for me, I think it's personally faker for them to try to act like they're working it out.
But is this Love and Marriage New Jersey or is this the Real Housewives of New Jersey?
True,
Are we here to see girlfriends or are we here to see marriages?
families
And
and
you
stuff.
know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's the part that I'm like, take this concept out. Like I'm tired of I want to see Jersey girlfriends getting to it. Like this is the Real Housewives. Like the husbands have given us enough and it's also enough. Like that's it. Like let's cut it out,
Yeah.
you know? That's how I feel about
Yeah.
that for right now. Um let's get into some of this. I don't really care about this.
Oh Lord, I'm just gonna fast forward on through this.
The noses.
Okay. So this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Hmm. Funny how Dolores is jumping to defend Rachel, but has not jumped to defend Teresa. And girl, you are so tired. Teresa's like, it definitely makes sense. So you're just throwing things into the wall and seeing if they stick. That's nasty. Ugh.
Not to stick it up your asshole.
Okay, so let's address this real quick. Let's say in a hypothetical world that Louis did somehow reach out to Jaden's birth mom for God knows what would be the reason?
That's what I keep on trying to think. I'm like,
Like,
I
what would be the reason why Louis needs anything from Jaden? Like, the lies gotta make sense, and that's what these girls forget. That the lies gotta make sense. And
I
then
don't get it.
the reason how you tying everything together is because, well, it makes sense because if you watch the season, he was mentioning Bo Dito and private investigators, so it makes sense that it was Louis. So you're not even sure. You're just throwing shit out there.
I just don't get it. Like, like, what's the end? Like, what's the end game for him to call the birth mother? Like, what is he accomplishing? I think
But
What?
that's stupid. That's a dumb
and
concept.
also y'all couldn't find her, so how he found her?
That's very valid.
I when she was, I'm just like, I listen. I don't really care for Louis, but I mean, I listen. I'm not gonna let y'all lie on the man though. Like I might not care about him.
Right.
Y'all just can't be sitting around lying. Now, if
And
you got some proof to prove that it was okay, I'll take it back. But until then, I just don't really see the reason why he would even need to. Like, what is he gaining from that? Or how's that? Even if he was to do some shady stuff, right, to help Teresa out, how does that happen to Teresa? Teresa ain't really got no beef with you, so
right. And it's also like, hello, it gotta make sense. It gotta make sense. Like, she really pissed me off with that one. Um, okay, so I don't, I don't really. Did you guys really care about Jennifer, Jen Fessler, and Jackie coming out? Because honestly, like, I really didn't care about that. Like, they had a cute
um,
little kiki. It was like it was like whatever.
I will just go on the record and say that
Hmm.
out of all of the cast members, Jen Fessler is the only one that got a lick of sense. So I like her. I loved seeing her. Did she contribute anything? No. Did Jackie
Right,
contribute anything? No.
not
We
to the
could have
movie.
right,
skipped that whole segment,
Yeah.
honestly.
I
and
will say Jackie did look good though.
She
I
looked
thought she
great.
looked very nice.
Jackie,
She
Yeah.
looked great.
Jackie did look beautiful. Let me see if I can find a shot of her so the viewers can see her. Um,
And then
I just
not that I want to talk about this, but I thought that it was also it kind of made sense like why she had went to like the friend of because like she was saying she had just had got all treatment and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I wish they would have shared maybe more of that, but maybe she wasn't ready to share that.
I
I
mean, yeah,
just um this is she looks pretty. She
she
looks
was
Yeah,
pretty.
good.
and like glowing and like she looks
Yeah.
very very nice.
You know,
So, this is my thing with Jackie. Um I just feel like Jackie, she got demoted to friend of this season. And when you're a full-time housewife and you get demoted a season to friend of, and so there's two things. One, do you want to continue to be on this show? And two, are you using this demotion as a way to leave the show? You know? Because it's like if you're using, do you need a minute?
no. Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because I'm like, don't worry, like we can literally like it's
No,
not a
I'm
big deal.
ignoring a call. It's cool.
Okay, all right. Um, let me just restart that all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
My thing with Jackie is that she got demoted to friend of this season, and I feel like when you get demoted to friend of after being a full-time housewife, that friend of season like determines your future in the show regardless. So the fact that she didn't really give that much, to me, that wasn't the best idea if you actually want to continue to be part of this ensemble, because it's like you wasn't giving us a full time, you don't give us a friend of, why would incline producers to want to ask you back, you know? So I feel like it was just like her performance wasn't that great as a friend of, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last we see of Jackie, honestly.
I hope not. Like I said, I think that she just had a lot going on, and they were trying to be respectful of what she had going on, and maybe that's why. I don't know, but I would honestly I would love to see everybody come back, even though I didn't really care for some people. I do still think that they should have another chance. Now I know we done gave Jackie some chances, but I don't know.
She can go for me. She can
Right.
go.
Like I don't blame you,
I honestly, for her to be a friend of this season, it really, I don't know, the performance for me, she was performing, but it just seemed like she was just doing a lot
Hmm.
of reaching, a lot of like just petty stuff. And I'm just like, yo, like for you to be a friend of, like, are you trying to work to get your tomato back or what? I don't know what they hold in Jersey, so I
Right.
always say
What do
tomato.
they
They don't
hold?
want anything,
They
actually.
don't hold
They don't hold
Oh,
anything.
there we go.
anything. So yeah, I just feel like she did a lot when it came to Danielle, and it was like not really necessary. So, if you're gonna be there
Hmm.
as a friend of, give us something of substance, or like be, I don't know. I just didn't care for the energy from her this season.
Oh, well, I'm sorry,
I
Jennifer.
agree.
Hopefully they ask you back. But I did like when he had asked her about the what is it the stuff that the Ozempic, what is it?
Ozempic.
Yeah, I,
Ozempic.
I did like that.
Mhm.
Oh
That
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did like that he asked about Ozempic because of course Dolores came out on Watch What Happens Live and said that she is using Ozempic.
Mhm.
So, I definitely, yeah, that was a good question because, you know, as someone in your cast is dealing with the eating disorder and here you are using Ozempic, what are the conversations between your friendship when it comes to
right.
that? So I'm really glad that he had asked that because
I
we kind
wouldn't
of like,
mind taking Ozempic. I'm trying to find some, but that's just me.
girl, listen, let's get into some more mess, child.
Old lady energy.
Okay, so
I felt sorry for her when she said it. Though it was kind of like on Mean Girls when she was trying to make fetch happen because they just kind of like went right over, skin right over her
Just skipped
saying that
right
about 12
over
times.
it.
this kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like that. Like they set her up.
Poor thing. She don't even realize it.
Right.
That was the narrative that it was playing out. Okay, well, we kind of get the gist of it. Um, what like what? What? Listen, the whole explanation of that was just the narrative that was playing out. I'm sorry, I'm not taking that. I'm like, what? So yeah, now it's not that makes me feel like the show is fake.
Very,
When
very,
things
like,
come
that's
out like
it.
that, when things come out like that they like say things without thinking, it's like, oh, so this show is fake. The fact that you were willing to make up a lie just because that was the narrative that was playing out on the show. What?
I love Jen Aiden. Jen Aiden, honestly, is my Jersey queen, but I hate to see her take L's like this. Like, you got to be more prepared for this reunion. You got to be more prepared to like try to weasel out of that because it's not looking good. Like, it
Hmm.
it's clear as day. It's clear as day to everybody that this was a setup so that I don't have to say it. I'm gonna get Danielle to say it. It's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous.
Poor little Danielle took the
But
bait so nicely.
I put some candy in my mouth. But you know, me and Kay were talking about this in a previous episode. I do believe that Danielle actually told Melissa because she was concerned. Like I do believe that she was actually doing it trying to be a good friend. It was just
Absolutely.
sad that Jennifer knew that Melissa already knew and
Right.
still let Danielle like what?
The
Right.
whole goal was to have it on camera. That's it. The
Right.
whole
Right.
goal was to have it on camera.
Yeah. And I don't like that. Like, certain
If this
things, if it happens off the camera and y'all have already discussed it and, dealt with it, like, leave it there. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
unless it's brought up on the show in a genuine, type of way, then don't try to force it on there.
Hmm.
And you know what's interesting? That if you actually think about it now with this information, Jennifer was the cause of all evil that night. Because if she would have stopped Danielle from from telling Melissa about this, and she would have told Danielle, don't tell her because I already did and she already knows, Danielle would have never went up to Melissa about it. Melissa would have never blown up, and then the fight with Teresa would have never happened. I'm not saying that this is all because of Jennifer, but I'm saying that the lie caused all of this drama.
It was definitely the
And
catalyst.
yeah, and it was like, was that the point? Like, was that the point to finally put Melissa and Teresa at a point where they couldn't avoid each other and they had to address everything?
Yep.
I don't know
That's
because to
exactly what
me
Jennifer
now,
would
like,
do though.
I just don't know what I believe anymore. Like I don't.
Yeah.
You guys are making up storylines and you guys are making up scenarios because of whatever's playing out. Like now, I don't know if anything I see is real, and
That's
that's
the
not what
problem I
I don't.
have with all housewives cities. It's not even just Jersey. Like, I'm tired of these housewives trying to ghost produce. Like, let things happen organically. That's why these shows are failing. The ratings are down for all these different cities because we can't get these authentic moments. Everybody's trying to produce and
Mhm,
like, oh, let's do this, let's stir this, da, da, da. Like,
mhm,
things, back to the beginning of the success of Real Housewives, all the cities were really like doing well because it was just people letting things happen. But
Yep.
we live in
mhm.
such a day and age now where it's also, I blame the Bravo fandom because they put such pressure on these seasons. Last season was terrible. This season better be better. Da, da, da. So these people that are on these casts are feeling like they have to one up the last season. So let's make up this. Let's da 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 da. And it's getting tiring.
Very much so.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, but you know what I think is worse is the fact that production is letting themselves be controlled over the fandom. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because I'm sorry,
Hmm.
But
I'm gonna produce the show however I want to produce the show,
Hmm.
and
right.
y'all gonna eat it or y'all gonna not eat it. But that's not my problem that y'all don't like my casting. That's not my problem that y'all don't like the way I'm doing things. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like, and I feel like when they listen to social media, that's not always the best thing because social media goes like this. Just
Yeah.
today on my TL, all I saw was I love Melissa comments. I love Melissa comments. I love Melissa comments. And last week, all I saw was
I
fuck
hate Melissa.
Melissa. I love Teresa. And it's like
Hmm. It's
it
fickle.
legitimately it be the same people all the time. They be flip floppy. So it's like, are you really gonna pay attention to Twitter over how you are going to manage your show?
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I don't even like when the producers, try to push them to talk about and say certain things. So, yeah, definitely. That's why I said,
Right.
I don't know. That I feel like Bravo has really got to go into the rooms and really discuss what they want the future of Housewives to be. And until they do that, I think we're going to get some of these seasons where people are producing and, we get lies being brought up and, it just, feels not genuine because they're
Right.
not really addressing the concerns that people are having about these
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's really like it's really just
Poor
like
Jim.
annoying because it's like
And then
that's
the
really not
crazy
what I'm.
thing about, like I said before, and I don't know if I said this last week, Wellington or not, I said it one
Mhm.
of these weeks is Jennifer really has to allow Teresa to fight her own battles. And I get it, you want to
Right.
stand up for her, you want to take up for her, but if Teresa is not running around talking about this, why are you running around talking about this?
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
That's very true because she finds herself also at reunions having to kind of, Teresa's trying to explain, but she has to hop in and be like, "Oh, what she means is da 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 da," because we know that Teresa isn't the most articulate woman on earth. So Jennifer has to come in and try and save the day. And I don't know, it's just getting tiring because I want everybody to do their own thing. It's
Right.
Mhm.
very apparent this season that there are sides and teams. Like
Yeah.
there's that couch, left couch, and right couch. You know,
Well, with
But me
Dolores,
I was about to say Dolores.
but me and Kate were talking about this earlier too. The left couch, they all team up against the right couch. The right couch doesn't team up.
Yeah.
And that's my issue. Because it's always Teresa going by herself. Jennifer with some assist, not really. Dolores stays quiet.
Hmm.
And Danielle tries to, but I feel like she's just like reading the room and not saying anything.
Yeah.
Whenever Teresa comes for Melissa, Margaret jumps in, the other girl
Mhm.
jumps in.
she need to
Like,
be quiet too.
and it's
It's
like
the united front.
Yeah, and it's like, girls, like, right, couch, get it together, girls. Like, what is going on? Because I know y'all talking about this. I know y'all texted. I know y'all say,
Absolutely.
what are the girls saying tonight on at the reunion? I know y'all talked about it. So
Mhm.
why are y'all not like get yourself in order?
They
This
might
is a
not have talked about it too much because Teresa probably was more so concerned about her having to defend Louis and some of the
right.
things that he had been doing and saying. And so I think that probably was her main focus. And then also her main focus was to listen, I want this to be over, so I'm gonna say
Hmm.
and do whatever so that this finally can be over. So
Mhm.
Well,
they might
that's a
have a conversation.
that is a perfect segue. Okay, thank you so much for giving it to us because now we can get into more drama. So what's gonna happen? Yeah, the police know. So what you saying? Right before we get into the husbands.
Hold on. Time out before we start talking. I need to blow my nose.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi.
Just what a mess.
I am so done with this point.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Like,
The spoof or not the spoof?
Is that what that was?
That's what they were saying. They were
That's
saying
what
that,
Teresa was trying to imply that,
yes.
like, okay, because I was confused. I was like, what? What do you mean,
But even
Margaret's
still, I
telling
was
it?
confused. I'm like, why are y'all spoofing each other? Like, who? Why?
what? Like, what is this?
I don't get it.
They should
It's
leave this segment out.
a clusterfuck of just mess,
Why
and
has
I
this
see
show
why
like?
Dolores doesn't want to be involved.
I was gonna say, listen, people like y'all know we just laughed about her, kind of being, both sides. But one thing I will respect about Dolores is she said, she said that
Mhm.
she ain't saying I'm choosing this side over this side. She's like, listen, I'm friends with everybody. I'm cool with everybody. If you wrong, I might say you wrong.
Hmm.
So for that, I mean, I gotta, respect on that.
Dolores is a real ass bitch because you know why? And that's no disrespect. She's that friend that she's gonna be loyal to you, and she'll tell you if she really feels like you're wrong about something privately. Um, but she's also that friend that can be friends with other people that you may not be cool with, but
Hmm.
still not. You know how they always say like you have to be careful when your friends are comfortable with being friends with your enemies. Dolores is that type, but Dolores is the type to also like not involve herself in mess with other people. So I truly believe that if Margaret ever tries to talk shit about Teresa when she's with Dolores, Dolores, be like,
Yeah,
let's cut it.
absolutely, absolutely.
I feel like Margaret doesn't even try it, and I feel the same way with Teresa. So I feel like you know what, like Dolores is a good friend, and but I just want her to provide an opinion, especially like we're in a reunion episode. Like you just can't. Oh, I don't want nothing to do with this. Like no, like we want to know what you like. What do you have to say?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Because
she's
I mean,
loyal to
I
Teresa.
literally would have said, like, why are we talking about this? Like, because what Dolores could have done in that moment is, like, when Marge called her, and then, because Teresa was like, well, why didn't you call me, and talk to me? Like, so what she could have done is she could have called Teresa. Listen, I'm sitting here with Marge. Marge is saying this. Like, she might could have been like a little mediator, between the two. I don't know. But like maybe if that's the role that you want to play, you want to be friends with both sides, then unfortunately you might have to do a little bit of mediating between the sides as well to make sure things aren't getting lost in translation.
Right,
Hmm.
right. Yeah, it's really ridiculous. It's just like like I just don't.
But again, why would Louis call her kids? I don't even remember these kids she talking about. But anyway,
And no shade, and no shade. At
no.
least someone called them.
Wow, you went
And no
there.
shade,
I ain't gonna lie though. That's what I was thinking. I'm just like, but I thought
and
you didn't
no
talk to me.
shade.
That's why I say
Because
I try to say it in nice.
the first thing I thought was like, you're concerned.
But I mean, as a parent, you might not be getting along with your kids, but that don't mean nobody else can mess with them. So,
True.
Sure.
But
I'll give her that.
I just overall I don't get what they're trying to do here. I know that Marge was like, "Oh, this isn't a storyline. This isn't a storyline. Why are we bringing it up at the reunion then?" Like, because now I feel like if there isn't
because
this big cash shakeup, we're gonna see this next season.
Right.
And also it's because it clears that it's literally like they came together to bring Teresa down because none of the things make sense. Nothing makes sense. Everything
They're
is
all
just like,
trying to make it happen about
they're all trying to like throw things at a wall,
Mhm.
and just like if we all throw things at a wall, one of them is gonna stick. So this reunion, we have to come in, and we cannot let her we cannot let her even like rest. Like we have to be on top of her. So I feel like they came in with that energy, and it shows. It shows they're bringing up shit left and right that makes no sense. And it's like, what is going on?
Yeah, the calling the kids, that was just and the step parents that people, I mean, the mothers that people can't find, like none of that was.
It didn't make sense, Sean. It didn't make sense. It was nice knowing you, Jackie.
Oh, my precious Jackie.
Maybe we'll see her on girls trip or something, but maybe not Jersey.
Save it.
I want them to ask Paulie why he's still married.
I feel like that'll be a question. He's so red.
All the time. No, you missed the part where he told what's the Lord's fruit, when Frank was telling Joe that this ain't Joe Judice, and he was trying to tell him not to get into it with Louis. That cracked me up.
This is the big part, the husbands. This is what we've been waiting for. Ooh, I get chills. These people are ready to kill each other.
Ready. Poor Bill. He don't even know where he at.
Oh, Bill.
The fact that Frank is there and Polly. Dolores, you got two motherfuckers on this.
It's the craziest thing. But she always go after unavailable men. Her and Paulie, I give him one more season, he gonna be gone too.
Trying to save that coin.
What is this paper Margaret got?
You see, they're all in unison.
Mm-hmm.
This is practice.
I mean, but that's how you come to a reunion, honey.
Okay.
Right. Mother. That's my mom right there. I'm sorry. I love her to death. It's sad to see the extreme that this has gotten to. This is a legitimate family. Like, this is a legitimate family. These are a brother and sister. And while we consume this, like, through TV and reality TV, this is why I love reality TV so much, because it's easy for an actor to go and play a role. It takes more balls to go through this with your brother on reality television.
Definitely.
And that's why I can, like, for the people that talk shit about reality TV, fuck you.
Now, some of it is a mess, though. We will say.
So, I mean, most
of it.
We won't say the Z word. We won't say the Z word, of course. However, anything outside of that, like, these are legitimate people telling real stories. Like,
yeah,
I appreciate it. This is crazy, though. Like, this is legitimately crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, Teresa's parents looking down on this.
That's why I hate it. I love reality TV, but I hate it because I do feel like this is literally
a product of it.
It's no going back at this point. Like,
yeah,
they had issues before they filmed the show, but like, I'm sure they would have been able to squash that. The show has been such a catalyst in the demise of their bond as brother and sister, bond as sister-in-law and sister-in-law. Like, it's really no way they can come back from this.
Yeah.
That's how it
feels. It's just time to let it go. Like, seriously, be done. But when I say be done, I'm talking about don't talk about each other, period. Right? Like, whatever is happening, don't talk about it. If you're not prepared to go to the source and talk to them and say, hey, A, B, C, D, then I don't want to hear you talk about it on your podcast. I don't want to hear you talk about it on interviews. Let it go. Like,
Yeah.
seriously. And that's the problem. They can't let it go. And this is
Yes.
why the feud will continue. It's gonna be up to their children to diffuse this. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the brother, the sister got their own thing, but the kids, they gonna have to have their own thing outside of what's going on
Hmm.
with their
Right.
parents in order for, the family to kind of progress.
And I definitely believe that time heals all wounds. And I know that there may not be no resolution right now because things are hot and you have to let things play out. Listen, Teresa and Jacqueline are talking again. Anything can happen, you know?
Well,
Anything can happen.
Right.
And I also believe, now, this I can tell you from experience, when people do you dirty, they reflect and they apologize. So I am hopeful that whoever did who dirty in between Teresa and Melissa and everybody involved reflects with some distance after having some distance, and two parties can come to a leveled ground and move on, because I don't believe the kids deserve this. you know you're losing family. You're losing family, and it's like kind of like it's kind of messed up to even think about it, that it's like all because of the drama that is happening on a show. It's kind of sad. But we'll be right here to recap it on Flipping the Table. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today
Thank you
again.
for having me. I
please
had
come
so
back
much
Tell
fun. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes,
Whenever
yes.
y'all want me, I will come back.
next.
Oh, period. Tell the people where they can find you and plug everything, please. Let us know.
Yeah, so you can follow Reality Chat. It's Reality Chat on Instagram. There's no special spelling, just Reality Chat. My personal, if you feel so inclined to follow the man
Mhm.
behind the page,
Sure.
is at Kevin Bobby on Instagram. That's KevinBobbyYYY. And I'm Kevin Bobby, KevinBobby on Twitter.
Period. Kate, thank you so much for joining us on another week, every
Yeah.
week. We love it. To our listeners, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Flipping the Table Pod for all things reality TV. Make sure you guys follow the Reality Rundown. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let us know in the comments. Are you Team Teresa or are you Team Melissa? What do you think will
We
happen
ain't doing no
next
teams. We
for the
trying to
next
defeat.
season? And let us know. Huh?
I said we don't want to do no teams. We trying to diffuse it.
No, well, I want to know. I want the fandom to go crazy in the comments. So you tell me what team you part of. But what I really want to know in the comments for all of our listeners is, how do you think this show can move forward? Let us know on Instagram, on YouTube, on all of the places. We love you. Thank you for another week. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.